Oh, yeah. It's about that time. We are going on a trip. Where we gonna go? No one knows it. We're gonna be flying, we're gonna be flowing, we're gonna be crying, we're gonna be showing everybody a good ass time. We're gonna have fun. And we ain't done. No, yeah, hun. How you be? I be good. What's your name? Tony. Should go to the movies and review some shit. Who would have thought he'd be on that legit shit? Yeah, he's a rapper and an adapter and knows what's it at the M. Night Shyamalan came out with a new movie that he's gonna review. Who thought it was good? We'll find out if it was, and if you're wrong, guess what? You is. Jeez. This rapping thing ain't my game. I thought it some kind of lame, but at least I'm willing to admit it. Who'd have thought that I would quit it? If you ask who'd have thunk one more time, I'm gonna shoot you. And stop rhyming time. Think of something else. Britney Spears biopic. Will it be good? I doubt it. Okay. Batman Cape Crusader. Was it good? I'll tell you later. Right. M. Night Shyamalan's movie Trap. Was it good? That's a wrap. Squid Game coming out with a season 2, and also a final one through. All right, you get the point. You get it. You got it. It's good. Stop the music. It needs to stop. It just needs to stop. And here we go.
Oh, Bryce, so why you look so down?
Man, my Saturday night plans just got ruined. I don't know what to do now.
You know what? I think I can fix that.
How?
You should come to Watch Party on Saturday night at 10:30. It's free.
Free?
I just fucking said that, dude. God damn.
Watch Party for educational purposes. And
Honey, I'm home from work.
Oh, I have to tell you about something Jimmy told me about at the playground.
Little Jimmy?
Yeah, little Jimmy. He told me about this thing called Watch Party.
Oh no, they were talking about that at the water cooler
I'm
today.
so worried. What have you heard about it?
Well, I heard that it was a lot of like-minded people showing up to watch educational video.
No, I heard they had snacks.
Free snacks and drinks is what I heard as well.
That's how they get you. And you know what? I'm sure it's gonna be expensive.
Actually, I heard it was free.
I heard free is a gateway drug.
You know what? This watch party thing doesn't sound so bad.
No, not another one.
Watch Party for educational purposes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Error.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Popcorn Popping. I am your host. What is your host's name? Why? It's the Popcorn Poppy, of course. What the fuck is Popcorn Poppin' Live? Is it something that you watch that happens to be live? Is it something that makes me need to go grab a knife or two? Or is it something that you'll find fun and true? I'll tell you what it is. It is your weekly movie, TV, and streaming guide, where you have too much content in the world and you can't be wasting your time. So you gotta let me waste my time for you by watching all that looks vaguely interesting and letting you know what's popping and what ain't. Tonight, we'll be talking about some movies, but first, a new TV show. What is that new TV show? It's something that isn't quite new. At least storyline-wise, it's not a new storyline. What is it? It's called Batman the Caped Crusader. I feel like there's too much going on screen right now. Probably got to change that handle. It's driving me nuts. I think I can change it right now. Let me change it real quick. Change it to that. No. Change it to that. Let's give it a shot. I know there's a lot going on. I don't know. That might drive me nuts. Let me know in the comments if this is too much going on over here. I feel like it is. I might turn it to black. So if you went black and never want to go back, let me know and I'll make this go away. Anyways, Batman Caped Crusader, which is on Prime right now. It's produced by Bruce Timm, who did the original Batman animated series, and J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves. If you don't know J.J. Abrams, Lost, Super 8, Cloverfield. He didn't direct Cloverfield, but he produced it. You know who J.J. Abrams is. He's done probably more famous stuff than the things that I mentioned as well. Bruce Timm did the original animated series, and Matt Reeves did the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Poppin' or not, difference. It's a different show. I haven't decided if it's poppin' quite yet. It does have some of the old Dark Knight. The old dark animation that was in Batman animated series, which is pretty cool. Except things that are in the foreground, like characters, are brighter than it was as dark in the original series, which I found out today, actually, that they painted the original series on black construction paper, or at least black paper, because the show always took place at night and it was such a dark show. So I'm assuming they didn't do that this time around, because don't get me wrong, this is probably the darkest iteration of Batman animated besides the original animated series. It's just weird how the characters popped out compared to the backgrounds. I know it sounds silly, but if you watch the show in comparison to the original animated series, you might know what I'm talking about. So, Tony, why are you talking about a kids show? Isn't all animation for kids? This is definitely for both. It says ass and people die, and that's cool. So it's aimed for new and old audiences, and it is a different type of Batman. What was the most jarring thing that I saw in the show was Penguin as a female. But Tony, you're really going to say that? Oh, I got to get rid of that. My bad, guys. But Tony, what's wrong with the woman playing the Penguin? There's nothing wrong with it, but it is jarring. And it makes you ask, like, well, why would they do that? But then again, like, I was a person in the arguments for making Snow White a girl of color. Like, I was like, why not? And people were like, but in the book, it says skin as pure as white snow. Yeah, but who cares, And why not make Little Mermaid black? And why not make, the list goes on and on. So it's the opposite of whitewashing. So why not woman face it? Woman face male characters. I'm sure that this has happened before. I know it has. I can't think of it. I mean, Professor Xavier in Deadpool and Wolverine, but that was a different timeline. Let's not talk too much about changing sexes amongst different roles. But I guess it is kind of important because we live in a time where that is happening more and more often. And it's definitely not a bad thing, but it is kind of like it. I did ask, like, why did you guys do that? But it is kind of trying to be more forward thinking, not only to make more villains in the series not just be sexy and badass, but also have them be gangsters without being sexy and still be badass. Because in the original series, or the Batman that we know, you got Catwoman, stupid hot. You got Poison Ivy, stupid hot. You got Talia al Ghul, stupid hot. So I thought it was kind of cool for them to take a different turn. It was cool to take a swing at things. Speaking of Catwoman, it has a cape. Like, I don't know if so. The original animation of Batman in the comic books, he had long ears. Apparently, purple gloves, which they don't do in this. But he had long ears. I fucking hate the long ears. But it's pretty cool because it's what the original design was of Batman. I don't know if the same goes for Catwoman in the Caped Crusader. But she has a cape in this. She has a Catmobile, which is super badass. I ain't gonna lie. And I like how with the animated series, it still kind of looks like it's in the 30s or 40s or 50s. I'm not really good at telling time. I am not a time traveler, and I don't know what things looked like in the past. It still has that old-timey feel in the series. Bruce Wayne even goes to see a therapist. And I thought that was interesting because who needs a therapist more than a guy that dresses like a bat and runs into the night and whoops ass? Probably Bruce Wayne. Anyways, I dug it. I don't know if it's popping necessarily, but it's definitely interesting. I have it more in the background. I'm probably around episode 3 or 4 right now. I'm just not paying as much attention to it. And to be honest, like I told you guys on several episodes, I am currently rewatching the original animated series, which is more of a background show, but it's still so fucking well made. So it's very difficult to not compare. Another weekly episode of try not to compare current works with previous works. It is hard when this is basically an adaptation or a forward-thinking Batman animated series. I will say Poppin for the risks that they take, for the animation that still holds up in comparison to the original animated series, but also for doing things a little more differently and not apologizing for it as well. Oh, man. That was quite a cough. And it's actually very funny. A lot of parts made me laugh really, really hard. Like Catwoman's maid. I won't spoil that for you, but that was funny. You can watch this on Prime. If you want to just watch the original animated series, you can check it out on Max. Or if you want to watch almost anything Batman related, watch it on Max. I didn't look into why Prime is airing a Batman product when DC products are usually on Max. I don't really like looking at like IP and legal battles and what have yous. I just thought it was interesting. Okay, now we're getting into some films. There's only one new film that came out in theaters, but there was some streaming options that I did not watch aside from 2 scenes. 2 movies that came out earlier this year, or was it last year? I can't remember. Rebel Moon by Part 1 and Part 2, both by Zack Snyder. It's basically his Star Wars, which I think everyone in the world thought it was pretty tame because it didn't really have substance, but it had a shit ton of characters that had semi-interesting storylines that weren't really delved into. Even though they felt like fairly long films, I haven't looked at the runtime of the original films, but they're probably around 2 hours. He just tried to stuff a lot into one movie specifically, but 2 movies in general. So he comes out with the Snyder cuts of this, which he's definitely doing as an homage to what he did before and a way for people to view his work more than once. 1,000%. And also because the original films were PG-13. In these, and when you watch the PG-13 movies, there is a lot of room for some really heavy violence, but they never do it. Like if you see her slash someone's face, you don't see any blood spurt out when you really should. In this, they add all of it in post. And so I only watched 2 scenes. One was a love scene with Sofia Boutella. Because of Sofia Boutella. And another one, and also I was interested how, like, if he was going to be like gratuitous with, I'm trying to like make an excuse for it was a educational reason why I watched it. It was kind of educational for studying the human anatomy, but also I was kind of interested to see, sincerely, I was interested to see how a director was going to jump from PG-13 to director's cut and see how much extra, if there's going to be gratuitous nudity. And it wasn't really gratuitous. It just seemed like a longer sex scene with a lot more skin. And I only watched the first action scene, which is her saving a girl from basically getting gang raped. And she kills them all. So watching that scene of violence, it does look really cool. Zack Snyder has always done a really good job with violent action scenes. It's just he overdid it on the sound effects. Like spurt, 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 spurt. There's so much guts and splatter in it. It's ridiculous sound effect wise, but visually speaking, extremely appealing. Extremely appealing. So I will definitely have these movies on in the background again. I put on 1 and 2 multiple times because of how uninterested I was in the films. So there, if you want to watch good background shit, definitely the first two. The only thing that makes me like really scoff and sigh even more at the thought of watching 1 and 2 director's cut wise is the first one's like 3.5 hours long, and the second one's like 2.5 hours long. Like, Zach, chill out. Just like Watchmen, the director's cut is like 3.5 hours long. It's way too long. I don't know what's up with the student loan things. I think that's what she said. But I think that it's kind of like I want to get as much into the storytelling as I possibly can, which I do dig and I do respect to a certain degree. What else? Oh, damn it. I tried to do something cool. It didn't happen. Let me see if I can do it. What else? You think I could do the whole show like this and it wouldn't bother you guys? No, it bothers me. It bothers the hell out of me. Sorry, I'm just messing around real quick. What if I did this? Nope, don't do that. Okay, enough experimentation. I don't like it. Ah! There we go. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to give it a shot. Let's move on to our main event 16 minutes into the episode. Oh, we forgot to start the timer. The whole reason it's supposed to be here is specifically so I don't do shit like this. And I need to reset it. All right. So now we're 16 minutes in, which gives us 15 minutes. In 16 minutes, because I don't feel like going back down, we should be down to the news. So there we go. Trap, starring Josh Hartnett, M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. A trailer that enticed a shit ton of people. A lot of people were excited for this film. I was excited for this film, but I was a little wary because M. Night Shyamalan hasn't truly impressed me except for Sixth Sense, Signs, and what was that last movie? Split. Split was awesome. I loved Split. But would it have been as good without James McAvoy? M. Night Shyamalan is very good at casting. I mean, you got Bruce Willis. You got, whether you like it or not, I mean, I do like Mel Gibson. He wasn't like fantastic in Signs, but anyways, Joaquin Phoenix a couple times. And Paul Giamatti, not that anyone saw Lady in the Water. Mark Wahlberg, watching happenings happen. And also James McAvoy in Split, because James McAvoy should have been nominated for Split. He was so fucking amazing in it. James McAvoy is an amazing actor, but we're not here to talk about James McAvoy. We're here to talk about Josh Hartnett. So let's start with Josh Hartnett before we talk about the film itself. If you don't know what this movie is, it is about a father who goes to take his daughter to a concert for a pop star. And it's where all the teenage girls are really excited for. Think kind of like Taylor Swift Eras Tour. And there's a gajillion people there. And he seems like such a nice guy. And the daughter's really excited. And they go to the concert and he notices all this police. And he's like, what's up with all the police? And he's noticing. And he asks someone, and someone tells him, hey, you heard of the butcher? You heard on the news, the guy who killed 12 people? The police know that he's going to be here, and they're setting up a trap. Cool hook. I was thinking when I watched the trailer, oh, so this is about him losing his daughter and trying to find her, and it turns out this killer has her and like makes him do weird shit or some shit. Wrong. And I don't want to tell you the main plot, because I didn't want to know the main plot, but I'm going to tell you the main plot because it's like everywhere in advertising. He's the serial killer that is being trapped, and it's all from his perspective. His role, not only is he good at being very charismatic as a cool, nerdy dad, friendly as a human being, covering his tracks like yeah, you can tell me. Very good at those moments, but also his actual serial killer Dexter Morgan shit that he's got going on in the film. So, mad props to Josh Hartnett. Mad props. Another positive that we'll include. That is point of view. The perspective from Josh Hartnett's character is masterful. Yes, I said it. Something that is new, that is done by M. Night Shyamalan. Servant had some masterful qualities, even though he mostly produced and directed some episodes. He did not write it. the point of view from the killer's perspective is something that I truly, truly loved in this film. Truly, no bullshit. Now, what do you mean point of view? We know that it's starring him and we're seeing things through his eyes. Yeah, a lot more so than you think. He's got a lot of cool Jonathan Demme shots, and that is a director who did Silence of the Lambs, The New Manchurian Candidate, Philadelphia, where they talk directly into the camera as if the camera's a person. A lot of films have done that. It's just Dem, whatever. He like really, really did it. And I want to say that's what most people reference when they talk about talking straight to the camera shots. So M. Night does that a lot in this film, and it really works. But another example of point of view is the camera won't show further than what Josh Hartnett's character can see. For instance, when they actually go to the concert, they're like, the 12th row in the middle. You will not see closer than the 12th row unless Josh Hartnett walks up there. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some establishing shots that set up certain scenes or just the setting in general, showing outside, showing police. A lot of shots of police running in directions. A lot. A gratuitous amount. However, for the most part, until the film switches perspectives to different characters, we're mostly from Josh Hartnett's perspective, and they do a magnificent job doing it. The movie in general, poppin' or not, it's entertaining, but not... sorry. I gotta make different animations. Burnt, small, medium, large with butter. I will give this... As a film of whether it's good or not, I will give it a burnt because it's so fucking... It is the most far-fetched movie I have ever seen in my life. It's ridiculous. It's so annoying, but extremely enjoyable. Enjoyable so much that the enjoyability factor, I give a medium popcorn. 3 out of 5. As opposed to the 0. Which basically averages out to a small popcorn. I really want to give it a medium, though, because it is enjoyable, because it's fucking nuts. It's like watching a bad horror film, but you're watching a bad suspense film. Again, and also it steadily declines. You're up here with the cool POV and like intrigue and whatnot. Then he meets the vendor, who's a really fun actor that's friendly and like really gullible. And it's like, hey, can you hold my box cutter for me? It's like, okay, this is kind of ridiculous that he's telling him all this information, but you are leaning into the comedy of why this character is so flawed, and I dig that. But every single thing that Josh Hartnett does is extremely ridiculous. There's a scene where and I'm not giving anything away because there's crazier scenes in this. He gets backstage access by like lifting it off of someone. He lifts off these MacGuffins or tools that he uses for his escape, or he's trying to escape. He's trying to get out of there. And he goes to the backstage, and there's a group of cops, SWAT cops, that are like, okay, the man's gonna look like this, gonna look like that. And I really like this shot because he's from afar looking in, and none of the cops are turned around, and he slowly makes his way closer and closer and closer. And when the cops turn around, he puts up his badge. He's like, hey guys, just looking for the coffee. The talent needs the coffee. He holds up a badge that he held up earlier, acting like he works at the venue. And he walks through this sea of police. Granted, super fun and very clever. And it's like, whoa, this is suspenseful. But then it's followed by a cop going, hey man, where's the sugar? And he goes, we forgot to put it out again. Hang on 1 second. He looks in the first cupboard. Here's my secret stash, and puts it down. He has no idea where the sugar is. So again, very far-fetched. There are way more far-fetched scenes, and it gets crazier and crazier in the far-fetchedness, and it's very annoying. But at first I was like, you got to have suspension of disbelief. And I was like, you know what? I have suspension of disbelief. I can buy it. But when it got to that point, and like maybe 10 more minutes later, I was like, this is way too much. I literally cannot believe this. It's way, way too much. Colin Joyner says, I was so disappointed in Trap. Dialogue was horrible, then just absolutely one ridiculous thing after another. Absolutely, I concur. When it comes to M. Night Shyamalan in general, yes, his dialogue is fucking awful. I want to rewatch The Sixth Sense to see if he's always been this bad. He's a story guy. He's even, I would say, a good director. I really loved the direction, specifically in the beginning of this film. But when it comes to dialogue, he is god awful. And for how things unravel, he's really, really bad. All right. This is actually the last thing I wanted to touch on. M. Night's daughter. Colin Joyner says M. Night daughter did good, though. I disagree. Why do I disagree? So, if you don't know, M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is apparently an artist. I don't think if she came out with shit before this, I never knew. It kind of seemed like he made this movie to help his daughter's career specifically. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think when you're a writer and director and you want to use your own kids, by all means, I don't think that there's anything wrong with being a Nepo baby. I think that there's a lot of things. I think that there are things that could be wrong with being a Nepo baby, specifically taking opportunities from actors who aren't necessarily networking very well and they're trying very, very hard to achieve their dreams. But for the most part, I think that, maybe not for the most part, there are a lot of actors out there like Jack Quaid, son of Dennis Quaid and Meg Ryan, who, yes, I don't care what videos or interviews Dennis Quaid has done where he goes, no, my son deserved it all on his own. He got some doors opened for him as well. But I do believe that Jack Quaid is a good actor and that he actually worked hard to become a good actor. M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is actually a good artist. Granted, I don't listen to that kind of music, and I'm not saying I would add that music into my playlist, but for how the film was, it was an excellent, excellent tone and like score of the film. They did an actual really good job with the music for the film. So props to M. Night's daughter for that, for sure. Then the movie keeps going, and it gets to a point where M. Night Shyamalan's daughter is an important character in the film. And it switches perspectives to her. As Kyle has said, good acting was not bad for someone for first role I've ever seen her in. For sure. For her first role, not that bad. And this is not her fault, what I'm about to tell you. The more she was on screen, the more I hated the movie. They switch perspectives. She becomes a main character. And because of the terrible dialogue that's in this movie, where he acts like I won't tell you what she says, but they switch perspective to her, and you're with her for so long. And it's just really bad acting. When she's on the phone, when she's talking to him in the car, it's bad, all right? I get it's her first role, and I'm sure M. Night, the dad, the director, the father, said, no, baby, you're doing great. And that's a great dad. So I can't really blame him for doing that. But from the perspective of an audience member or a self-hating critic who probably shouldn't be critiquing anything, it was so annoying, and it really dragged the movie down. It dragged it down. The movie got better when she got off screen. And that's no shade on you. It's more shade on M. Night for not really realizing, oh, wait, maybe I shouldn't have her starring in the movie for 20 minutes. I think that's it for the movie that I wanted to say. So I will say Not Poppin'. You don't need to see it in theaters. You can watch it on streaming at home. I do agree. I agree. Who do I agree with? I agree with myself. I think everyone should watch this movie because of how ridiculous it gets. But man, it is one of the most ridiculous movies ever, where it is fun, but the end specifically is fucking ridiculous. So yeah. Anyways, that's Trap. It's in theaters right now. Go see it. So what does this lead us to? What's the main topic of tonight? I know I've done this subject before, but I had some time today, and I figured I'd give you guys like a batch of a topic of a film instead of like 60 films. This is like 15-ish. I don't know. I didn't count. But I want to look for more films with good twists. And I should have looked for more films with good twisty scenarios, because Trap does not have a twist besides the main storyline of Josh Hartnett being the serial killer. However, And yes, I agree, Kyle. The end credit scene, the mid credit scene in Trap was fun. I still fucking hate that movie. But I wanted to look for other good twisty films, sort of like Sixth Sense, M. Night Shyamalan's first film. Excellent twist at the end of the film. If you don't know what that twist is, you should go see the movie. It's on DVD right now, but you could also watch it on Max. It's about a little boy who can see dead people, and Bruce Willis is a child psychologist who's trying to help him out. This is an excellent film. You should definitely see it. Toni Collette's in this too. Not as well known as at the time, but she's fucking dope in it. Another good twisty film, probably the one I always think about first besides Sixth Sense, is Fight Club, which you can watch on Hulu right now. I thought that everyone and their mother saw this movie, and I was wrong. Someone I know, I think, watched this movie very recently. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like, did you know the ending was coming? Nope. Wow. That's incredible. Because, yeah. Anyways, see Fight Club on Hulu right now. Old Boy, I usually mention, don't worry, Kyle, I'm getting to the mist. Also, you're going to notice that there are probably a lot of other good twist films. I am mixing up some films. I'm going to do this subject multiple times with different films because there's a lot out there to offer, but a lot of them have very similar endings. And I don't want to say, like, this isn't one, but some endings have like split personality or it was all a dream endings. And I don't want to put them all together because you'll be like, whoa, you gave me like 10 of the same ending. I don't want to do that. Or like all time travel ones, you know? So keep that in mind. I'm going to have some movies on here. They're going to be like, why didn't you discuss that? It's because I should probably discuss it for later because it's very comparable to a different film on this list. Anyways, Old Boy, you can check out on Netflix. Don't watch the Spike Lee version. I've talked about it so much on here before. It's South Korean, even though the dub is great. I don't know why the English dub isn't available on Netflix, but if you can find it, I would recommend watching that one instead. Usually I say read the subtitles, and you can still read the subtitles for this, and you'll still love the film. However, the English dub is done very well. Next, Stay, starring Ewan McGregor, Ryan Gosling, and Naomi Watts. Excellent film where it's very mindfucky, very mindfucky. That's why we've done this subject before when I called them mindfuck films. Not all of these are necessarily mindfuck films, but they're twisty. And this one was a mindfuck because you're like, what the fuck is going on as the film progresses? But it's super dope. A psychiatrist attempts to... 16 minutes. Looks like this one's going to be an hour-long episode. Anyways, I will try to go fast, though. We'll do another 16 minutes. And then I should be at the end of this. Okay, so. Psychiatrist attempts to prevent one of his patients from committing suicide while trying to maintain his own grip on reality. Like I said, it's mindfucky, but you can watch it on Hulu right now. Another good twisty film is Sleuth with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier. Granted, it is an old film, and I really want to remake this movie. There is a remake with Michael Caine playing the older person's role with a young Jude Law, directed by Kenneth Branagh, but the original is way better. The new one's not very good. A man who loves games and theater invites his wife's lover to meet him, setting up a battle of wits with potentially deadly results. This movie is so fucking good. I really do want to maybe adapt it into something that's a little more original, but I would say inspired by this film, because I don't really there's only a handful of films that I would be interested in doing a remake of, but I like the idea of telling my own story. However, this one's so enticing, I really want to do it. It's twisty. It's fucking awesome. You can check it out for free on YouTube. Like, you don't need YouTube Premium. It is so good. Kyle Andrina, Mike Matusik. I know you never seen it, Mike. That's why you should go see it. And Kyle Andrina said, woohoo, hour long, let's go. Fuck yeah, Kyle. I like the enthusiasm. Next. This movie is, I'll give you a trigger warning. There are, I believe, 2 scenes, but definitely more than one scene of sexual violence, I'll say. And it is very demented. It's a fucked up, not that demented, but it's very demented. When you watch it, if you heard me say it wasn't that demented after watching this movie, you'd think that I was demented, but then I could show you other movies that are way worse. However, this movie is fucked up. It is really good. The Skin I Live In stars Antonio Banderas as a brilliant plastic surgeon haunted by past tragedies, and he creates a type of synthetic skin that withstands any kind of damage. His guinea pig, a mysterious and volatile woman who holds the key to his obsession. It's fucking nuts. So good. Check it out on Max. The Game, I've mentioned several times. David Fincher was on this list once with Fight Club. David Fincher on this list again for The Game, starring Michael Douglas as a wealthy San Francisco banker who is given an opportunity to participate in a mysterious game. His life is turned upside down as he begins to question if it might really be a concealed conspiracy to destroy him. One of my favorite films. Check it out. So is Sleuth, by the way. I forgot to mention that. And Fight Club and Old Boy. The Others, not one of my favorites, but still a very good Twisty film. In 1945, immediately following the end of Second World War, a woman played by Nicole Kidman lives with her 2 photosensitive children on her darkened old family estate in the Channel Islands, becomes convinced that the home that she rents is haunted. I think they own it. I don't think they rent it. I'm pretty sure most of you 30-ish year olds at least has seen this movie, but for anyone that's younger, check it out on renting because it's not streaming on anything. The Mist, Kyle and Joyna. Of course, I'm going to talk about The Mist. All right, me and Kyle and Joyna, probably my first real acting buddy. I've definitely acted with him in more than I've acted with him the most in my career as an actor. Me and him share a love for The Mist. I think he was the first person I talked to about it right after I watched it. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle. I think this was back in the MySpace days where we talked about it via MySpace. I remember watching this movie in my room and fucking losing it. I think I put it on MySpace, and I think you talked to me about it. We talked on the phone. I paused the movie and we talked on the phone, and I told you that I gasped at a tentacle opening up. Why did you just say tentacle, Tony? Well, because The Mist is about a freak storm that unleashes a species of bloodthirsty creatures on a small town where citizens up in a and fight for lives. On Prime. If not now, definitely in October. Fucking dope movie. Why is it a twist? Twisty storyline for sure, but a crazy ending. Crazy. Another good Twisty film that I don't think it didn't really have a twist ending per se, but the concept was twisty. Cabin in the Woods, you can watch on Peacock right now. I've discussed it on this program before, but it's a different type of horror film that I won't tell you what it's about. I'd rather you go into this movie blind. Psycho. If you haven't seen Psycho, you really should see Psycho. It's one of the first to do this sort of twist. And also, it's Alfred Hitchcock. It's super fucking dope. And it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Old movies hold up no matter who you are. You don't need to be a nerd to truly appreciate a film like this. It's one of my favorites. And you know what else is good? Oh, and if you don't know what this movie's about, because I feel like a lot of people my age or younger, like, I don't want to watch that in black and white. But what's it about? I actually don't know. A secretary on the run for embezzlement takes refuge at a secluded California motel owned by a repressed man and his overbearing mother. Oh. It's an excellent film, and you should watch this. Then you should watch Bates Motel. Oh, this is on Prime. This is also on Prime. Bates Motel is a prequel. Wink. Watch this show. Very well made. I think prequels are the way to go. Next, 11-14. Only one person I've ever known in my life that's seen this movie is Nicholas Winchester Marriott III. I don't understand why this movie isn't more talked about. It's one of my favorite movies. I don't think it's one of the best movies ever. It's almost one of the best movies ever, but it's got such a perfect storyline. The events leading up to an 11:14 p.m. car crash from 5 different perspectives. It's so well made. It's more independent. Hilary Swank produced it and has a very small role in the film. It stars Rachel Lee Cook, Henry Thompson, the kid from E.T., but grown up, pre-Mike Flanagan Hill House days. Patrick Swayze when he was alive. Ben Foster, Colin Hanks, Jason Segel. It's got a stacked cast. It's a really, really good film. You have to rent it, and I know people don't like spending money on movies, but you really should go see this movie. Yeah, Kyle, I'm not surprised you never heard of 1114. It did not do well. I think it went straight to DVD. I rented it back in Hollywood video days when my grandma took me, and I'm like, I don't know, this sounds kind of cool. I didn't look at what the storyline was about. I just saw this cover, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want to watch this. And look, this is 100% serious. If you rent this movie right now, okay? Watch the opening scene. If you don't like the opening scene and you want your money back, I will pay you your money back. That's how confident I am. This is a very, very, very good movie. Very, very dope. 1114, you can rent it right now. Matchstick Men is a con movie about a phobic con artist and his protege are on the verge of pulling off a lucrative swindle when the former's teenage daughter arrives unexpectedly. Good twist, very funny movie until the end where it gets really fucking serious and kind of scary. Stars Nicolas Cage as a person with OCD, or like really, maybe not OCD. It's like way past OCD. It's like extreme OCD. Nicolas Cage, Sam Rockwell, and Alison Lohman. She's great in this too. I wish I see her more now. Colin Troy, I just watched 1114. Movie sucks. I want my money back. Sure, I'll give you your money back. How much did it cost? $4? Anyways, back to Matchstick Men. Check it out. You can rent it right now. I love this movie. It's one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies. And Inside Man is the last one on here. I'm not telling you to watch this because of its twist ending, although the ending surprised me, even though it really shouldn't have. It's an excellent Spike Lee joint about a bank robbery that co-stars Jodie Foster and Christopher Plummer. The main bank robber is Clive Owen, and the hostage negotiator, slash main detective is Denzel Washington. Excellent film. You can check it out on Stars. All right, let's get into some news. I told you guys a while ago that J.J. Abrams promised us a Cloverfield movie. I'm not telling you that this is the Cloverfield movie, but it would be so dope if this was the Cloverfield movie. He has said that he promises the fans a straight-up Cloverfield sequel. This is a J.J. Abrams secret movie project where no one knows what it's about, except that J.J. Abrams wrote the script, Bad Robot Productions is producing, and Jenna Ortega and Glenn Powell star in it. Hopefully it's fucking Cloverfield. I love Cloverfield. Britney Spears said that she's doing a biopic pick, which is directed by John M. Chu, who did Crazy Rich Asians, Wicked, the musical that's coming out pretty soon, In the Heights, Step Up 2, The Streets, Now You See Me 2. Oof, I probably should have mentioned those first. Never Say Never, the Justin Bieber story. He's a good director, though. Why am I saying he's a good director? Hold on. G.I. Joe, Retaliation. Although I like G.I. Joe, Retaliation. That's actually not bad. And I do like In the Heights. Wicked looks really good. I thought he did Better Luck Tomorrow, but apparently not. I think I'm getting my Asians confused. My bad. Crazy Rich Asians was pretty good too. Anyways, I'm okay with Britney Spears, I guess. I think we should question that. I don't want to get whatever. Britney Spears coming on the biopic. I've discussed biopics on the show before, where if the person that I think that they should make a movie based off someone else, yes, maybe with some of their tell some stories to the producers, but has zero say in the creative choices that the story goes, because they're going to paint her in an only positive light. And I think any movie about a human being, about a real life human being, they shouldn't just be an angel. They shouldn't just be sane. They should be true. The characters in the film should stick true to a human being, not to a public figure that we all see in a certain light, if that makes sense. But I'm very excited for Britney. Next, Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. Remember that movie? Well, the producers said that that Ryan Reynolds was actually the reason it got greenlit because of his relationship with Cal Penn. Cal Penn had auditioned for his role in Van Wilder, and Ryan Reynolds loved him so much that he told Cal Penn, hey, when you get your starring movie, I will be a supporting actor. And it turns out for Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, it had a lot of unknowns. So the production company, I believe, said, hey, you guys need 3 big cameos and we'll do this. And Cal Penn asked Ryan Reynolds to do it. Ryan Reynolds did it. Super dope. Ryan. There's going to be an animated I think there is. We're developing. So this isn't a real picture. I just found it online. But Evil Dead is going to get an animated version. Bruce Campbell said they're developing it right now. He said, I'll do that. I'll do Ash's voice all day long because my voice hasn't aged as much as I have. So that's pretty dope. R.I.P. BoomerRang. Warner Brothers Discovery is unplugging BoomerRang streaming service and now moving some of its content to Max, which I'm down for. I love Looney Tunes. I know that they're cartoons, but taking a film class, you realize when it comes to storytelling, you can learn a lot from cartoons like Looney Tunes because showing instead of telling and eliciting a certain reaction or surprise is the key to making a story really, really good. So R.I.P. BoomerRang. Rounders 2. Matt Damon said he wants to do Rounders 2. If you haven't seen the original, you can check it out on Pluto. It's about a young reformed gambler that must return to playing high-stakes poker to help a friend, played by Edward Norton, pay off his loan sharks while balancing his relationship with his girlfriend and his commitments to law school. Again, you can check out Rounders 1 on Pluto. Remember I Know What You Did Last Summer? Well, they keep calling it a reboot, but it's a sequel because director Jennifer Caton Robinson, who's doing the new one, says, I still know What You Did Last Summer is canon to the new film, which is expected to arrive July 18th, 2025. A lot of people hated on the second one. I didn't hate it when I was younger. I hated that we owned a bootleg. We owned a bootleg VHS. I think my mom thought it was the real thing and she got it for a cheap price. I'm like, Mom, this is bootleg. She goes, no, it's not. I'm like, dude, it's so dark. You can't. Anyways, hopefully we see Moesha. Just kidding. Hopefully we see Brandy in the new film. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. have been talked to be in the new one. What? How would Sarah Michelle Gellar? All right, maybe it is a reboot and like they're taking elements from the second film also into the next. I don't know what's going on. I guess the main takeaway from this is July 18th is when the new reboot or fucking sequel is coming out for I Know What You Did Last Summer. If you want to watch the first one, you can check it out on MGM Plus. If you want to watch the second one, you can watch it on Prime. Scream 7 will focus on Sidney Prescott. She's usually been sidelined ever since Scream 3 as a supporting hero. That is still our main hero, but more supporting. And we only know a little bit about her life after 3, but now we're going to go back to her life more in depth. It makes me really nervous because I don't want them to fuck with the originals, but whatever makes Neve Campbell happy, I suppose. I don't know, though. New John Wick series called John Wick Under the Table is set to be released someday, but it's going to take place directly after John Wick 4. I don't think that Keanu Reeves is going to be in it. He's going to be executive producing along with the director of the original. Oof. Yeah, this is literally going to be an hour-long episode. All right, let's change it. Sorry, hold on. I'm going to give myself 10 minutes, and then I absolutely have to go lightning fast. No, we'll give ourselves 9 minutes. Go. All right, the additional scene. Oh, sorry. So this new show that is set to be released sometime soon. Interesting theory, Kyle. That was a theory for the last Scream, and I almost thought it was going to happen. I think it's a little too late because I've heard that theory so much, and I'd rather be a little more surprised. But I think it would have been dope if they would have did it a movie or two ago. Anyways, with John Wick 5 is in the works. The spinoff movie starring Kane, which is Donnie Yen, or I'm sorry, let's start off with this. Ana de Armas is going to star in Ballerina, which is a spin-off film in the John Wick world, set to be released next year. Donnie Yen as Kane from John Wick 4 has his own movie coming out. I'm so stoked for that. And the Continental on Peacock is something you can watch as part of the... I didn't finish it, though. It's not that great. But I will finish it someday. It's not terrible. It just wasn't that great. But you can watch the first one on Pluto. If you haven't watched the movies before, watch that. All right, just watch that and then hit me up. I'll tell you where to watch 2 and 3. But you can watch 4 on Stars because it's the best action movie ever made, and you can watch the Continental miniseries on Prime. Quinta Brunson and Stephanie Sue are going to be starring in a new comedy called Par for Course, which is co-written by Brunson and Point Grey Studios, which is Seth Goldberg. Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg. Is it Goldberg? I don't think I'm saying his name right. Is it Evan Goldberg? Oh, no, it is Goldberg. Okay, I was right. Anyways, their production company is taking care of the film as well. So that's really exciting. First of all, for Quinta Brunson to be starring in a movie is really exciting, but also in a comedy, of course. Usually she would do comedy, of course. But with Stephanie Sue from Everything Everywhere All at Once, fuck yeah, I am all in. Next up, No More Lando, the guy who was originally going to do it, director Justin Simeon, who has done Dear White People, Bad Hair, and directed Haunted Mansion, which sucked. He was going to do the Lando miniseries that Donald Glover has said, yeah, we're doing it. According to the director, it's not moving forward. Although his remarks was kind of hinting that his version isn't moving forward, not the show itself isn't moving forward. So we'll see with more Lando news. I'll keep it posted. We're still waiting on the release date for the Bando and the New World film, which has no release date. Squid Game is coming. A new teaser trailer, which you don't need to watch. It's really just close-ups of the robotic girl. Says that the next season is going to be coming out December 26th, and the final season is going to come out next year. So apparently they shot the seasons back to back. Shrinking season 2 is premiering October 16th. You can watch it on Apple TV Plus right now. JB Smoove is High on Life. Remember the High on Life video game? I didn't play it, but I watched videos on it. It looked really fun. Politics aside, Justin Roiland, who is a fantastic writer, whether you like it or not, he helped develop a video game called High on Life, which is also a voice on. It looks fucking nuts. Check out a trailer for it. But they are making an animated adaptation of the video game, which featured JB Smoove, and now JB Smoove is producing and maybe even be a voice in the new show. Maya Rudolph is going to return as Kamala Harris. I always say I can't say it wrong after I say it right. She's returning to SNL to do, hopefully, our next president. Probably not. Politics aside, and Colin Jost will be hosting a new version of Jeopardy called Pop Culture Jeopardy. I'm stoked. Give it all movies, baby. Give it all movies. Trailer Poppin. The only trailers you should be watching are the trailers to Piece by Piece, which is the Pharrell biopic. I thought it was a stupid idea. I never heard of it until the trailer came on, but I was like, you know what? This might be good. It's Pharrell's story with interviews with real artists in Lego. Interesting. Also, check out the trailer for Greedy People. Also, check out the trailer that Max just released of their upcoming TV shows, because you see little bits for Last of Us, Welcome to Derry, etc., etc. All right, to our regular programming, here's what I'm watching right now. I'm still watching, Lady in the Lake. Good shit, me. I was prepared. Lady in the Lake, which stars Natalie Portman and Moses Ingram. Still a good show. Did not watch the latest episode, but new episodes are on Apple TV Plus Fridays. Don't Believe Online. It's not bad. The juxtaposition of these two females' lives in the 1960s is really interesting, and the mystery as it unravels isn't exactly mysterious, but I like Natalie Portman's character's drive in it. House of the Dragon, literally just watched the finale. I don't know, man. Like, it's so boring, and I don't care about most of the characters. I'd say 30% of maybe 20% of each episode is what I really watch the show for. If it wasn't Game of Thrones world, I would have quit the show. And I thought I was going to quit after this season, but the showrunner has announced that season 4 will be the show's last season. So I got to watch 2 more seasons. And I'm not rolling my eyes like it's a poorly made show. It's not poorly made by any means. I just don't care for it. Game of Thrones is way better. It's got its moments, though. And this episode was really good. It's just, come on. You can watch House of the Dragon seasons 1 and 2 on Max right now. But watch Game of Thrones first. Actually, I lied. Watch this show first. Honorable mentions of things that came out that I did not see that you may want to see. Harold and the Purple Crayon, which is in theaters right now. Coup, which is in select theaters right now. Saving Bikini Bottom, the Sandy Cheeks movie on Netflix right now. The new season of Unstable, starring Rob Lowe and Son Lowe. His name's not Son. I just don't know his name. Is on Netflix right now. The documentary Elizabeth Taylor, The Lost Tapes, is on Max right now. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is on Netflix right now. And Women in Blue is on Apple TV Plus Wednesdays. I still might try this soon. What is coming out next week that looks good? Or I don't know if it looks good. I'll just tell you what's coming out next week. I'm going to watch Borderlands. I'm the fucking only person in the world that played Borderlands and didn't think it was amazing. I'm not throwing shade. I just didn't see what was so great about it. I'm very happy for its popularity. And I'm happy that this new movie's coming out. Granted, I don't think I'd watch the movie if it weren't for one person in particular. But the new movie is based on the video game that has an all-star action adventure cast and following a ragtag team of misfits on a mission to save a missing girl who holds the key to unimaginable power. That's the plot line you guys gave online. You didn't tell me anything. This is me throwing shade. But unshade, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, Cate Blanchett. Just Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis is enough for me. Cate Blanchett and Kevin Hart in a team is really cool. That's enticing. Jack Black plays a voice in it. That's exciting. I still don't think I would see it. But guess what I will see it for? One man and one man only. And I'm so happy for him. Bobby motherfucking Lee. He got his own poster too. I think it's a small role, but I'm very happy for him. I'm extremely happy for the guy. This is in theaters Thursday, and I'm going to go see it specifically for Bobby Lee. I forecast it not making a lot of money because I have not seen much, as opposed to a lot of other video game big budget adaptations that you usually see. I've hardly seen any advertisements for this, and no lie, I looked at the trailer and it doesn't look that great. I think it won't be poppin', but I think it'll be entertaining enough. All right, time to go faster. I think it'll be entertaining enough. I don't think I'll be disappointed. I think I'm going to go into this knowing exactly what it's going to be and walk out like, yep, I didn't need to see that. But again, I'm very happy for Bobby Lee. One other thing that's very interesting about this is, yeah, I agree, Kyle. I don't think there was much advertising either. One other thing that's enticing about this movie, though, is Eli Roth directed it. So to be honest, without Bobby Lee, I think I would still watch it. I don't think I'd go to theaters, though. But because Eli Roth directed it, and if you don't remember who that is, he did Hostel. And what else did he do? I should know this better. Oh, he did Knock Knock, which is one of the best horror movies ever, starring Keanu Reeves. Thanksgiving, which is one of the best horror movies ever. And I did not see The Green Inferno. And Cabin Fever, which is pretty good. It's interesting that he's doing non-horror movies. Anyways, this is in theaters Thursday. Cuckoo! I don't know what this movie's about, but I'm super excited about it. Oh, apparently I do have a plot line. I've stayed away from trailers, and I'll tell you why in a second. A 17-year-old girl, played by Hunter Schafer, is forced to move in with her family to a resort where things are not what they seem. Thank you for not telling me what the movie's about. I'm so excited for this. So excited. Stars Hunter Schafer, Dan Stevens, who's been fucking crushing it lately, and Jessica Henwick, who I love a lot. It's because this is the same director as the director who did a film called Luz. which is about, I think it's like 40 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes long. Like it's not as long as a regular movie. You may never have heard of it, but Luz is about a young cab driver who drags herself into the brightly lit entrance of a rundown police station. A demonic entity follows her, determined to finally be close to the woman it loves. You can watch this on AMC Plus right now. I don't necessarily recommend it to everyone. It is a slow burn, very slow. But wild shit like this happens, like really wild shit happens, and it's so good. I love it. It is very slow burn, but it's dope. And it made me, when I saw this, yeah, don't look at Danny Kraft, you sicko, Kyle. If you saw this, then you'll agree. When I watched it, I was like, man, I'm excited for this person to make a full-length feature. And now we got it with Cuckoo, which is coming out Thursday in theaters. Very, very excited. I'm seeing 2 movies in theaters in one day because I'm filming my movie, my short film, my first solo short film. I won't tell you anything about it except it will be released around Christmas, but we're shooting Saturday, so that's exciting. Anyways, if you're looking for a good romance, It Ends With Us with Blake Lively is coming out this Thursday. I'm not even going to talk about it because I don't really care. The Instigators, which stars Casey Affleck and Matt Damon. If it wasn't for Casey Affleck, I'd be much more excited about this movie. I think it's about a bank robbery. I know it's about them robbing something, and it's comedic. This comes out on Apple TV Plus Friday. Solar Opposites returns to Hulu Monday. Industry returns to Max Sunday. Umbrella Academy, you should watch Industry, by the way. I like it a lot. I know I've talked about it on the show before, but the next season is going to co-star Kit Harington, and I think it's going to be a pretty good role for him. Something a little different than what he usually does. The final season of Umbrella Academy comes on Netflix Thursday. I don't watch Umbrella Academy, but I'm excited for people that do. Mr. Throwback, which is Steph Curry playing himself in a comedy, co-starring Adam Paley, who I love, but the show doesn't look good to me. And Hollywood Black, which is a I think series, not movie, but a docu-series that is about Black Hollywood, specifically chronicling the Black experience in Hollywood, revealing the stories of the actors, writers, directors, and producers who fought for their place on the screen. This looks really, really good. It is directed by Justin Simeon, who I just talked mad shit about, but I think it looks very well made. This is on MGM Plus Sunday, though, and I don't have MGM Plus. So what am I going to watch this week that maybe you should too? What we'll be reviewing with 100% certainty is Borderlands, Cuckoo, The Instigators, Solar Opposites, maybe not Solar Opposites, and Industry. So that is it, guys. Before I leave, let me see what was said in the comments. Hush, Kyle. I'm watching Tony. Good for you, says Kyle. Kyle, why are you giving an angry face for telling Tony good for him working on his film? That's awesome. Don't try to track down Danny. Don't read comments, says Kyle. Don't read comments, says Kyle. Thank you very much for showing up. It was a little bit of a longer episode because I talked about Batman Caped Crusader for way longer of a time than I thought I was going to. But yeah, watch party news. Watch party, that's usually on Saturdays at 10:30 at the Planet Ant Black Box, where we watch an episode of television, talk about it, have fun, play trivia, play games, and talk about facts and what makes good television. We'll be off for the next 3 weeks, but be sure to come back in September, and I'll announce whatever our next project is. We're having a meeting this week where we'll be picking stuff. But thank you very much, guys, for watching. Danny Kraft says, good job, Tony. Show Kyle's ruined your night. Sorry, Kyle's ruined your night. He did ruin my night, but I appreciate you guys. All right. You stay classy, Michigan.